Hi, welcome everyone. Unfortunately, wish I could say I'm proud to be here, but it's not. It's a very wet day here along the Cranston-Warwick line. We're here with Mayor Avedisian as well as with my fire chief, Warwick's colonel, my public works director as well. It's been a very wet and soggy day throughout the state of Rhode Island, but as you can see, in Cranston and Warwick in particular, we've been hit particularly hard. In Cranston on our side, we've had several main roads which are still closed at this time. As you can see, Wellington Avenue behind us has really been flooded and the waters is continuing to rise. We're constantly watching the water along the Patuxent as it's been increasing. In particular, we're watching this bridge over on Elmwood Avenue. If the water gets any higher, we are going to be prepared to close along even this section. But as of right now in Cranston, we have another area, Perkins Avenue, where we have had to evacuate on a voluntary basis several homes that are there. People in that area have lost electricity as well with just the normal electric outage that's going on. Pontiac Avenue still remains closed. A certain part of Route 2 along the area by Warwick is also closed, as well as one of the continuing source of frustration when there's water, Fletcher Avenue, although Fletcher isn't as bad as what you're seeing right here. So we are doing a lot. We're working with the state, EMA, as well as the Department of Transportation. Both Mayor Avedisian and I have been on the phone with the governor and in coordination with Director Smith from EMA as well. So we're constantly monitoring it. In particular, we're also watching the dams in the city of Cranston to make sure that there is safety of those structures as well. So right now, we have not determined that any of the dams are in jeopardy where we would have to open any of them, but my fire chief can speak to them. He's going out, and members of his department have gone out with my public works director to check on them, and we're constantly watching to ensure the safety of the residents. DOT as well.
We're pretty much about the same. We have some spotty areas where we have closed some roads, but not to the extent that Mayor Fungus had to. We have not had to order any evacuations thus far. As Mayor Fungus said, I just got off the phone with Chief Smith from the Emergency Management Agency. West Warwick is not faring as well. They've done some major evacuations there, and they've actually set up a shelter. But we're coordinating with them as well, and some issues on what's happening along the Patuxent so that we will know what's happening upstream from us as well. Thus far, the only areas that we have had to close any roads are right along the Warwick-Cranston border on both sides, and the East Avenue Bridge going into West Warwick is closed as well.
Evacuations are purely voluntary, no mandatory evacuation in the city of Cranston. There was 10 homes on Perkins Avenue that were affected. 10 homes on Perkins Avenue. Well, there's always a problem with electricity and water, but right now we shut off the power to a few selected homes, but not in any areas, not in the Whitesboro area.
And Chief Smith has actually opened the whole command center. So they have a team there from DEM, and Director Sullivan has given his staff the ability to make those decisions right there so that we don't have to go back to DEM to get approval. There are some concerns, again, in the West Warwick area on some businesses with the contaminants going into the water that is flowing, and he is working out all of that at the moment. He has a team with DEM, Emergency Management, and DOT. Also, DOT is inspecting bridges and looking at road surfaces and road beds to see if we need to be proactive and close anything due to structural issues.
Mayor Fong?
Well, we're right now watching the water flow. and our police are here along with our safety officials. And if it gets to a point where it's dangerous, where there's a possibility of water overflowing over, we will be prepared to shut it in case that happens.
Obviously, it creates a major traffic issue for us, so we're hoping not to have to do that. But our staffs have been talking all day, and we'll continue to do so. And if that decision has to be made, then we'll make it happen.
In terms of weather forecasting, what have you guys, what information you guys been given on how much more water we can?
Well, on Friday we were told that the highest it would get would be 10 feet. It's now over 15. So National Weather Service in their last update says only a half an inch of rain today. We're not so sure that that's correct, but that's what they're still saying.
And we're also watching too, in case any of the dams have to be opened up. Of course, that's going to have more impact on the water. We're going to be coordinating not only Ward Cranston, but with the state, the EMA, to ensure that all of our residents are going to be safe. But for our residents, anyone that needs any sandbags, they are available at least in Cranston at our Public Works facility. We've gotten more sandbags as well as more sand so that they're available there.
Mayor Fung, a question from a resident on Perkins Avenue. They say that, this has happened before, they're sick of it. Should we just condemn the street? This is a question from them. What do you say to the residents there?
Well, this is reaching historic levels. This isn't one of your routine flooding issues that you would normally encounter. While there's been flooding in that area, at least Cranston was able to secure some federal funding to alleviate some of the problems. But even the stimulus funds and the projects that we're putting forward is not going to be able to stem what we're seeing today. We're at historic levels with the Patuxent River right now. So while it's frustrating, we are working to ensure the safety of all the residents to the best of our abilities. If it rises to that level of dangerousness, then they're going to make the call. They will order the mandatory evacuations, but we're not at that point.
Yeah, we haven't had to do any evacuations yet, but we have always advised people that if they live close to the banks of the Patuxent and there is a place for them to go, that they're better off leaving and going there so we know that they're safe.
When did you say we're expecting floodwaters to go down?
We're not sure at this point. We're just watching the weather forecast just like everyone else, but a lot also depends on, like we said, we're monitoring the dams as well, because that could create more of an influx of water coming down the Patuxent, which could result in more closures of streets and more flooding.
From what we hear, National Weather says that we're only going to get comprehension. That factors into what we believe will be the cresting of the river. And until we get an update from them, that's all we can report.